Developing Tomorrow's Professionals program has a very, very intense commitment to wraparound mentoring. It is not enough for our mentoring program to cover one portion of a young man's life or how they grow and prosper and succeed. It's important that we address all of the various needs and support that basic founding principle of what would a father do to care about his son. In essence, all of our young men are our sons. The professional mentors are recruited from every walk of professional life, from teachers to craftsmen to tradesmen, regardless of the color of their collar or where they went to college or not. What is important is that we connect young men to people who use academic learning every day on the job, whether it's in the law office or in the classroom or in the ministry or in the fire department. A professional mentor spends a few hours a week with our young men, and they contextually apply those same skill sets and principles we teach in our academic Saturdays with professional occupations. The way we view it, all occupations are professions if they're approached with the proper attitude and commitment to excellence. We encourage every gentleman, regardless of where he works and how many hours he works, and a lot of retired gentlemen, to share with us their time and expertise in developing tomorrow's professionals, professional mentors. I'm privileged to be able to discuss in a very few moments the Developing Tomorrow's Professionals program, or as it has become to many people, just the DTP. More than an acronym, more than just 3 words, we are committed to developing in our young men of color, Black, Hispanic, Latino, the skill sets, attitudes, and principles necessary for a successful life. Our basic founding principle is not that students will all go to college. Our goals are that our young men will graduate from college. Less than a preparatory program for various occupations and professions, we look to education as the founding principles by which we discover an occupation, a profession, if you will. As we look to the national data on why students are successful in college, and understand, almost a third of all students that go to a 4-year university do not graduate. Although we'd like to place blame for that on maybe our high schools or maybe financial circumstances or on a number of other items, more than anything else, we can look to the data that says as students get a little older, they become much more focused on college as a conduit by which I am going to find a profession or train for that same profession. We look to that as not a matter of maturity, but a matter of frame of reference. If we can expand the frame of reference of each of our young men of color, we provide them with so much more context by which they can say, I wish to go to college to become this, to grow to that. As we interview the hundreds of young men that aspire to Developing Tomorrow's Professionals program, they fall into common areas of general professional desire. It is our job to expand, stretch, and almost explode out the walls of what that expertise is limited, and take away the limits of that so they can look to new ways of experiencing, enjoying, and discovering the God-given gifts that each of them has been given. One of the things that we do, and again it's important to understand, is that we provide them with wraparound mentoring. Now that is to say that we have to provide mentoring in a couple of different parts of their life. First is academic mentoring. This is very difficult, and it requires a sensitive touch. All of our academic mentors are graduate or undergraduate students currently in college. In essence, little older men of color who, in fact, are using academic learning right now to get to their specific goals and can hear and respond to all of the things our young men have and give a greater context and depth to it as it relates to this is what you need to learn, this is how you need to learn it in preparation to graduate college, not just to go to college. The second part of our program, which is important, is professional mentors. The professional mentors come from every single walk of life. It's really based on the principle of take your daughter to work day. We are taking our young men to the professional areas of these gentlemen of color as well. Now, these are different mentors than our academic mentors. And in that environment, in the workplace, it's not a matter of job entry level, it's a matter of hang with me as I do this. Share this experience in the law library. Let's prepare this lesson plan that I have to teach tomorrow. Let's look at the tool set that I need to do this plumbing or engineering job tomorrow. Or, as we have seen from a couple of our professional mentors, they are accompanying their young man, the professional mentor and young men together at training sessions, at information technology centers, and various other occupations that are too countless to mention here in a few moments. Beyond the wraparound mentoring, probably the biggest component that gets a lot of attention from a lot of our high school principals and teachers throughout the state is our Academic Saturday program. All of our young men are required to attend 10 consecutive Saturdays in the Academic Saturday program. During this 4.5-hour period from May through the beginning of August, our young men are required to learn skill sets. Now, the way we learn and teach this is that our young men will keep being drilled on these skill sets of academic excellence until they got it. We don't grade necessarily, but we do check, evaluate, and then go back and do it again. Our young men begin to write thesis statements, and rather lengthy essays of a college variety from week 2 on. Now, you might be thinking that our young men have to have all these great grades to get into our DTP program. That's not the case. What we value most in how the selection is made, and oftentimes it's difficult, is the degree of commitment. Commitment the young man has made to be the best he possibly can be, academically and as a man. That takes a little time, and it takes a little expertise on our part to make sure that we're listening carefully. But we think every year we find those young men to make sure that when they come into our program, they are committed to every Saturday. Keep in mind, it's a no tolerance attitude from everybody's standpoint. All of our academic mentors and all of our young men who are in the program must be there every Saturday, and they work together every single Saturday. Following that period of Academic Saturday, we meet with our principals and administrators at their respective high schools because, again, we're taking underclassmen. We don't take seniors into the program. And then we look to increase the levels of their academic courses. So we prepared them to win in education. Now we got to challenge them. And the data shows clearly that not just are our kids getting great grades, they're honor roll kids. And they're able to handle the more challenging course loads. Now, there's other parts of this program, and I'm just going to hit on a few. We teach the principles of the MAN program very, very carefully, something that we've developed, but we believe that every person lives on a set of principles. And we teach those over and over again till they become part and parcel of each young man's life. And faith is a very important part of it. Make no mistake, we don't ignore God in all that we do. We integrate it in all of it. The second thing is we understand that leadership is not a matter of just skill set. It's commitment to serve. All of our young men, when they come back after the summer program, Academic Saturdays, if you will, coupled with our mentor program, is we want our students more greatly involved in their high school. We want them being more proactive and empower them to make a difference in other people's lives. This is one of the greatest teachers of leadership. Again, as we look back on the 4 years that we've had the program now, I think the thing that's touched us most is that the program doesn't make all of the difficulties and challenges of life go away. Quite the contrary. Those challenges are always going to be there. What we try to help our young men do is to overcome those challenges and give them the tools climbing, and as they're climbing up that ladder, to make sure they're lifting as they go. Take other people with you in this positive way. The Developing Tomorrow's Professionals has other things that I think you'll find very interesting, and on this website you can learn more about it.